Hollywood. It's the Tom Leykis Show.
Who is this Tom guy?
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. By the way, did you see the guy who wrote Pulp Fiction has been arrested for drunk driving after a car crash that killed one of his own passengers? Yikes. Now, of course, you're innocent until proven guilty, but he's already released a statement apologizing and saying how horrible he feels. So I guess I'll let you be the judge of whether he's guilty or not. Ooh-wee. Yikes. Anyway. Very nice to have you here. Apparently a number of you are upset that I have been on the air talking about the fact that you don't need to have conversation with a woman. You don't need to have anything in common. You don't need to have a little chit-chat about politics or things that are going on in the news. You don't need any of that. A number of you are upset. I don't know why. I mean, I'm dead serious. I'll say things in an ironic way or a funny way sometimes, but I'm dead serious about the fact that whether you have sex 3 times a week or 3 times an hour, the point is you're always better off buying nothing and leasing everything. You are better off, whether it's cars or women, getting them with relatively low mileage and then turning them back into the dealer after a year or two, rather than buying one and being stuck with it forever. And, I read from a blog on the air this week about how men, I guess men like me, need to grow up. We need to assume responsibility. I'm a responsible person, and by the way, people say, don't you need to settle down? Guess what? I've got a good job. I show up reliably at work every single day. I own a 4-story house in the Hollywood Hills, which is impeccably maintained. It's worth 4 times what I paid for it. I've now bought a second home up in Santa Barbara County for weekends and vacations. I think I drove a good bargain for myself there. It's 20 acres. And once I take control of that property in a couple of weeks, it will also be impeccably maintained. I'm not driving 100 miles an hour with a bottle of Jack Daniels in the cup holder or doing anything crazy. I earn my money, I save, I invest, I plan. Many evenings, if I am not out meeting chicks, I am at home sitting in front of my fire with a glass of wine and enjoying the hell out of it. How much more settled down do I need to be? Seriously. You don't need to have an intelligent conversation. You don't need to say, you know what, I need to settle down. This is all empty. Where is it all going? Stop being such girls. Stop being such girls about it. As I said to somebody on the air, you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. Every goddamn day, you and those 3 meals. Do you ever look at your dinner plate and go, where is this going? What's happening to us? What am I to you? Am I your consumer? What am I? It's so empty. Every day, bacon and eggs, Subway sandwich for lunch, pork chops for dinner, countless gallons of beer. How empty! When is this going to mean something? Where is this going? I need to know where this is going. You never question it. You need to eat, so you eat 3 times a day. You don't say this is all so empty. You don't say, you know what, I'm gonna go celibate for a year. I'm not gonna eat. You don't do that. You know that eating is part of your day, every day. And you like variety. Some days you like Chinese. Some days you like Italian. Some days you want a hamburger. Some days you want a McGriddle. Right? Some days you want a BMT, and I'm not talking about the 6-inch either. I'm talking about the 12-inch with double meat. Some days you want that. You like a little variety. You don't say to yourself, you know what? From now on, it's pancakes every morning. I've got to stick to one plate. So, sorry bacon, sorry eggs, sorry toast, sorry Pop-Tarts, sorry Rice Krispies. I'm sticking to pancakes from now on. You don't say that. You get as much variety as you can put in your mouth. Can't you do that with women also?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You are the voice of reason in this godforsaken world.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. Mike, hello.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Before you turn my volume down and prove to listeners that it's your show and you work it the way you want to, I just got a couple of things to say. First off, I don't believe you are the way you say you are, like, on the radio.
And why is that?
Because there's no way. I've been with plenty of beautiful women. I know how beautiful, classy women are, and they're not playing your game, homie.
I'm not looking for classy women. You don't understand. Class has nothing to do. First of all, anybody can get herpes, whether they have class or not.
Yeah, no, not even the lower class girls are playing your game. I mean, as big as you are.
You have no idea. You have no idea who's playing my game. You have no idea. People who've seen me in public.
You know what? Because I've seen a million of you in high school. The big kids who always try to fit in, but can never quite do it.
Pal, I'm not in high school. I am a multi-millionaire businessman who owns 2 properties, 2 large real estate properties.
You're proving my point. You're proving my point.
There's nothing to prove.
I got the coolest bike. I got the coolest this. You're compensating.
You would be. I don't care what I'm doing. The bottom line is there are plenty of women who want to be around that. Bottom line, end of story.
No, there's not.
Go ahead and say it.
Which you got none of.
What?
You got to have soul and swagger, and you got
swagger. Is that a person who gets swag?
No, that's you ain't got neither.
Swagger.
No soul.
Where would I find swagger in the dictionary? Swagger.
You've got no poker face.
SCHW.
You're dead obvious, and they can see right through you.
Yeah, And you amazingly believe that women couldn't care less about money, power, and fame, which just blows me away.
No, they do. But not coming from you. You got to have both. You got to have a combination.
No, you don't.
And yeah.
No, you don't. How would you know? How would you know? Do you have money, power, and fame?
I got soul. And you know
Trust me when I tell you, money, power, and fame are all you need.
No, you know what? To be honest with you, I own a flooring company. I don't make that much money, but
there we go. Well, fine. You may get women too, but money, power, and fame is just fine.
Here's the deal.
All you need.
Because you're not happy with yourself.
Oh yes, I'm miserable.
You proved it by how many times you've gotten married. I mean, it's dead obvious. I don't really believe.
Are you a psychiatrist? Are you a psychiatrist?
No, I think you're a nice guy outside of the show.
Oh,
you're
you think so?
Nothing like you say you are.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of women out there who'll tell you what an a-hole I am, believe me.
No, it's all fraud, and you know it.
Sure. It's all fraud.
It's to appeal to these 18-year-olds.
Right, and I'm not getting laid, and you are. I know. Yeah. Because women would rather be with a guy like you. Women would rather be with a guy like you. Women would rather be with a guy like you who has no money, who has nothing to his name, doesn't have 2 nickels to rub together, than to be with somebody like me who has money, power, and fame. You're a complete moron.
All right. Well, tell me some more about all the money and stuff you got.
What do you want to know?
Yeah, see, that's all it's about, though. You've got.
I don't care. My money is part of who I am. It is a visual representation of everything I've accomplished in life, and what I've accomplished is me.
All it proves is that you've been running from something, being so unhappy.
Yes. That's what people without money would say about people who have it. You who have no ambition, no creativity, and no ability to create wealth, you obviously have to believe that people who have wealth are not as happy as you.
No, you know what? I'm a musician. I'm very creative.
There we go. Really? When was your last platinum seller there, Mike?
No. I'm very modest with my music. I'm not, by all means, I'm not famous. I'm not big.
You're not a musician. You own some company, you just said. You're not a musician. You are not. You're a musician on the weekend when you're not working at your little company.
Exactly.
So you're not a musician. You're a small-time entrepreneur with a small cash flow business.
Yeah, you're dead right. You're dead right.
Who is a hobbyist with a guitar.
All I need to make me happy.
You are a hobbyist. Well, again, that's what people who can't make a living say about those who can.
No, that's what you guys are for fat kids in high school always trying to fit in. No
Don't matter. Doesn't matter.
And you had to keep on keeping on. And those girls are not appealing to that. I met plenty of women. I know
fine.
They're not appealing to your game of life. Your game of life
Sure. Oh, I'm not getting laid. Yes, I'm not with beautiful women, and I'm not getting laid. Sure.
No, you're not. And if you are, they're by the bottom of the barrel lagoon creatures.
Sure.
They look like something out of a...
I know, and you're going out with all the classy women who like being with losers who can't make a living. Hang on a second. Yeah. Tony, what did you want to say to Mike?
Hello, Dad.
Hello, son.
Tony.
Yeah.
Now, this guy that's on the phone, he has no clue. I'm in my late 40s. It's all about money. Women want money. If you don't have money, you're not going to get it. Period.
I got it. So you're not proving nothing. I've got it. And you're just one of his little cronies, and you're just as worse as he is. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You're just as worse as I am. and your grammar is just as worse as mine, too.
Oh, yeah. That's the best you could do is come up with a little, about my grammar.
What, that you're illiterate? Well, I think that's kind of relevant, don't you?
Hey, at least
okay, tell me why all these women with class want to be with an illiterate guy who makes no money like yourself.
Hey, ask them, Tom. Hey, at least
frankly, I don't believe they exist, and I've got no evidence that they exist.
Yeah, at least I'm not trying to, so desperate. I got to try to cling on and marry anything that'll marry me. I'm marrying like 4 or 5 times.
Right.
However many times you marry.
Right. What do you think, Tony?
You'll always be running. You're a runner.
What do you think, Tony?
Tom?
Yes.
Dad.
Yes, sir.
This guy just has no clue. He just needs to listen to you more often. It is all
He listens every day. Every day.
I listen to Howard Stern.
Sure you do. Now, how do you know I'm here? How did you know to call in?
Well, because when Howard Stern's over...
here we go.
So Howard Stern gave out my number and said to call in?
No, I listen to your show.
Oh, you do listen to my show. Yes, I know you do. Every day. Every day. Every goddamn day.
How old is this clown?
He's 27. You listen every goddamn day, and you know it.
No, I don't listen every day. I listen a few times. But, like you were saying with the Sarah just...
Yeah, Howard Stern's on the air giving out my phone number, telling people to call in. You know what I'm talking about because you're listening.
What are you talking... Yeah, because I listen every once in a while. I know who you are. From way back I listen. I know your personality.
Well, why were you listening? If you think that I'm such an incompetent and a liar, why do you tune in?
You never people watch. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. You fascinate me.
Well, thank you for making me rich. I appreciate it. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello to Peter on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Peter.
I just said that.
I know, Tom. I'm just joking with you. Tom, how you doing?
Do you care?
Long-time caller. I mean, second-time caller.
Yes.
And, I've been listening to for since you've been on the air.
Good.
But this topic, Tom, is it something? And what about this guy? Is he a piece of work or what? Jesus Christ, he tried to break your balls about some you don't.
He's a guy who's never created any wealth, has never had any creativity, a failure as a musician, jealous of the fact that I'm a multi-millionaire.
Absolutely, Tom. Absolutely. It's about, Tom, it's about jealousy.
That's what it is.
Who calls in, I don't care if they are 20 years old or 40 years old, they are just jealous. That's
right.
It. Bottom line.
That's right.
Jealousy. Absolutely.
That's right.
This is unbelievable. Believe me, listen, I'm 39 years old, okay, and I've been all over the world, mainly in South America, okay, which is your favorite countries too down there.
Oh, yeah.
And I live in Los Angeles for the last 20 years, and, you know, you got to have some games here, and anywhere. I mean, you got to have some games, otherwise you be just smacked by the curb. That's it.
Yeah.
And you know, I put my head down. You made it. You made it. You absolutely set. You know, you're wealthy. You make great money. You don't share this BS with all these bitches out there who want to take your freaking money, okay? You just shot the freaking money. That's it.
Yes.
Absolutely, Tom. Absolutely. You know, I wish we had more time. I know another call is waiting, but, you know, let me just say something. Oh, boy, it's nice to have you on the phone. Anytime I'm listening to you, man, I wish I can punch some button when you hit it on the nail so I can get you more rating. You know what I mean?
I do.
Oh, my God.
I love that.
Any freaking topic, man. You're right on the money. It's unbelievable, you know. It's just, you know, absolutely. And I like it the way you tell the truth. You do more than public service, Tom. More than public service.
Well, I'm glad to hear you feel that way.
Excuse me?
I said I'm glad to hear you feel that way.
Of course. It's just, you know, it's sad. I mean, like this guy called before and tried to put you in the corner spot. It's like, how many times you have sex? Jesus Christ. I mean, you got it going on. And like you say, man, if you got hot chicks, okay, hot chicks, and forget the class, the other guy talking about. He don't even know what freaking class is, okay? Class is, you and I, men, who want to be aroused, we need to see a freaking hot freaking body in the corner. Then we get aroused, okay?
That's how it works. That's how it works, yes.
Absolutely, Jesus Christ. Forget these nonsense class, you know, class it. I will need to get around. And if I have a everyday different chick, or it doesn't have to be every day, just, you know, variety, then you get aroused.
Yes.
It's harder to get aroused the older you get. Because, you know, we slightly go down in our sex drive, of course. It's a natural thing. But I'm saying, all these guys who are married and they have a 20 years old chick at home, every day same thing. What are they going to get? Aroused? Are you nuts? Jesus.
Bottom line.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, it was pleasant to talk to you. Keep up. Don't get discouraged about these guys.
Oh, I never do. No, they make me rich. I love them to death.
That's what I was going to say. On top of it, they make you great ratings anyway. So
that's right.
But you have to bounce them out too sometimes, you know.
No doubt about it. Peter, thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM. Here's Mark on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, I just want to tell you how many times I've been with people that you've shut up who talk about how you have no game, and then I run into you at a hockey game, and you're with a 9 or a 10, and then there was a while you were going to the Palm a lot. Every woman who stopped to say hi to you was a 9 or a 10. I never saw a single fat, ugly woman come up to your table to say hello to you. And so I've seen you out and about in L.A. for years, and I can tell anybody who's listening, I've never seen you when you didn't have a 9 or a 10 either on your arm or talking to you. And it's because you walk the talk. You know what the game is. You know how to get women to pay attention and how not to pay attention.
And by the way, I'm out in public all the time. I'm not hiding.
No. I've seen you around town all over. The other thing is I've also noticed you've never been sitting at the Palm having dinner with a very hot girl because that's far too expensive a place to take a hot girl.
Oh, no. If you see me having dinner at the Palm, it's with male friends.
Absolutely. And you do nothing but attract hot women there. So, boys, if you're going to call in and tell Tom he's full of crap, it ain't going to work.
Thank you for that, Mark. Appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Matt on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Matt.
Just giving a little confirmation to that clown who just called.
because I was at one of your listener parties. I was in a band, actually, that you had hired one time. And I have seen the women you're with, and they are amazing. And this guy has no clue who he's dealing with. It's somebody who's inexperienced and has no idea what he's talking about.
They just don't understand. This is what women really want. Money, power, and fame. Even though they may not ever get it, they just want to be around it.
I think he was pretty much preaching to himself there when he was talking to you and saying that you were insecure and that you were... Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I had to say. You have a great one. Blow me up.
Thank you, Matt. Here you go. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Here's Cameron on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
What's up, Pops?
Not much, son.
How you doing today?
Doing great.
Well, about Mike, dude, busting your balls. Hopefully, what do you say? He's got a small cash flow business?
That's right.
Hopefully he's got somebody typing his memos, because it doesn't sound like you graduated high school. You know what I mean? Anyway,
yeah, he's out with the classy women.
To talk about. I had kind of a funny story, dude. About 2 weeks ago, normally I control the remote when me and my old lady are watching TV, you know. And this night after I decided I was going to be nice, and I let her, you know, flip through the channels. And the first thing she flipped to was Sex in the City. And so I said, oh, hell no, you know, we're not going to sit here and watch this crap for an hour. And she got all butthurt and said, why? And I said, well, first off, it's a chick show. Find something we could both be interested in. And second off, I don't want to sit here and watch this ugly broad all night. And so she got all defensive defending Sarah Jessica Parker, and so I proceeded to explain to her why I didn't like her. And what really set it off was she said, well, that's not very nice. You know, she kind of reminds me of my mom. And I said, well, it sucks to be your mom, huh? So it ended up escalating, almost came to blows, and I ended up at the bar that night. But, I thought I ended up sharing that with you. And then I've got a couple of these guys had some enthusiasm these last couple of calls. It sounds like, you know, some of these guys who call up are on their way to a funeral or they're listening to you or whatever. So that was nice to hear. Got me pumped up. You get me through the 91 every day, dude. I just want to thank you, man, and big shout out.
Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate it. Here's Alina on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've been listening to you for a little while because a friend of mine recommended I do so. So I'm thinking, and I'm really paying close attention to all the things you have to say, and I'm wondering, are the guys who are listening, the testosterone is affecting their brain? Because I don't think they're really listening to what you're saying. You're sitting here preaching that you're this multimillionaire and girls would, like, you know, totally want you, but yeah, you're not willing to pay more than $40 on a date. So wouldn't they rather go out with some good-looking guy who will spend $40 on a date?
Wait, here's the part that you're missing.
Tell me.
And I have stated this on the air before. I don't know how often you've listened. But you see, the key here to my success is the fact that women think that they have the magic vagina. Each woman believes that she is going to change us. That's why women love shows like Extreme Makeover, or they used to like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. Women love making guys over, and they believe that no matter what we stand for, well, what our religion is, or what we believe in, or what friends we have, or whether we smoke pot, or whatever it is, they're going to change it once they become the girlfriend. So I'm not done. I'm not done. I am not done.
I'm listening.
Listen to the whole thing. When I'm done, you can comment.
All right.
When I'm done.
You finished?
No.
All right, I'm listening.
So the bottom line here is that women think they're going to change me. And so, in the process of trying to change me, they have sex with me. And then, after a while, they realize I'm not buying them a car. I'm not paying their rent. I'm not paying for their schools or their school loans or anything. I'm not buying them clothes. I'm not taking them on expensive trips. But they don't realize this until after I've already had them. Because they think by having sex with me, it's going to, you know, scramble my brain and make me do things that I don't believe in.
But so how are you enticing these women to have sex with you?
Because they think they're going to change me. Can you hear what I'm saying here?
I'm listening to what you're saying. I
say I'm not going to give a woman any money. She says to her friends and anybody who'll listen, oh, he'll change. And so they start right in, getting into the sack with me, thinking that once I get an idea of what it's like to be in bed with them, that I will do what is against my own principles and start buying them things, giving them money.
Tom?
By the time... I'm not done.
No, you're not done.
By the time that they realize that I'm not changing and I'm not giving them anything, I already got what I wanted.
You're done?
And then they move on, and I move on.
Yes. Okay, but here's the question that I have that I'm concerned...
Don't ask the same question a third time, because I just answered it.
I'm just concerned that your listeners aren't, able to understand one thing.
Wait. So you're saying you're smarter than the listeners?
Well, because I'm female.
Because you understand things and they don't.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, let's hear how smart you are. Go ahead.
Here's my question.
Now you'll ask the same question for a third time. Go ahead.
Are you going to let me finish?
I don't know yet. I don't know what you're going to say.
You always have to finish first? Okay, here's my question to you.
By the way, it's my show here, and I'll do the show any way I like. I've done pretty well without your advice over the years. I don't need your advice on how to do a program.
I'm not even asking. I'm not giving advice.
Well, I'll talk when I want to talk, and I'll decide when you talk and when you stop, because it's my show.
Can I speak?
You serve at my behest.
I do. Don't we all? That's why you're a millionaire.
That's correct.
I see. I pay attention.
Good.
All righty then. My question to you then, sir, is that if there's a time where you meet the person until you get them in bed, you have to offer them something.
No, I don't.
It would be personality.
No. Here's what I offer. Promise. Women think they're going to get their claws into my cash.
From the minute you say hello.
Once they know who I am and what I do, they think they're going to get their hands on my wealth.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When they get to know who you are and a little bit about you, but you're sitting here 10 minutes ago.
But I don't. What do you think? You think on a first date, I say to a woman, and by the way, I'm not giving you anything. I don't say anything. I let them do the talking.
And that's how you meet them?
Many times, yes.
So, yeah.
Because women are attention whores. And when a man is sitting next to a woman and he doesn't strike up a conversation, it drives them insane. This is how I meet women on airplanes, in bars. You'd be amazed here.
I guess that I would be.
Yes, and then on top of that, when a woman finds out that I'm a wealthy individual, a successful individual, that I have some level of fame...
But if she were to find out that you were a successful individual, she'd have to listen to what you do.
But again, you don't understand. Here's what you don't get, and this is the last time I'm going to say it. No matter what I say, here's what women say to me. They say things to me like, oh, come on, you're not really like you are on the radio. You're a teddy bear. You're not like that. Look, you may tell people you're like that, but you're really not. And they have themselves convinced of this. And I don't try to dissuade them. Okay, if you believe that, that's fine. And then they start to ride me like a pony. Then, after a while, they start to realize that I'm not asking them to move in with me. I'm not buying them anything. They start to realize I'm not going to ask them to marry me, that they have miscalculated. And they start getting very huffy. They start getting angry. They start saying, where is this going? I need to know where this is going. And I say in return, why does it have to go anywhere? Why can't we just enjoy what we have?
Well, this is what I'm asking. Why would they enjoy what you have rather than some hot 20-year-old who doesn't have 2 cents to rub together?
Again, that may be where they go after they are disillusioned with me. But my only concern is getting them for a limited run and then getting rid of them.
Okay.
I'm not looking...
You could actually get the women in bed.
I do. Did you hear
any money on them?
On women, they say, oh, come on, you're not really like that. And they are convinced that by giving me really good sex that they can change me or that I'm not really like that at all. After giving me weeks or months of good sex, ultimately they're like, well, what's going on here? Like, we never go anywhere, we never go to dinner, we never do anything. And I tell them, hey, I never promised to do those things. And many of them just say, well, I'm going to go out with somebody else then. Goodbye. Well, what do I care? I want them to leave anyway. It's the perfect crime. You don't understand. And women hang themselves. I'm giving them all the information they need. I tell them, I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not going to give you money. I'm not going to marry you. I don't need to be married to anybody. I love living alone. They ignore everything I'm saying, and they go out with me anyway.
Tom, I haven't been listening long enough to actually know this information, but you have been married before.
I have been.
Several times? I
learned that I don't need to ever get married. I can get exactly what I want the way Domino's delivers pizza. Well, I make a phone call, and in 30 minutes I get it hot and fresh.
And then you wake up by yourself.
If I do it right.
Okay. I got nothing.
I know. You had nothing going in.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You know what, Tom? Man, you like the dopest cat on the radio. you get a hood pass from me, so anybody will come to the hood. I got your back, man.
I love that.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Micah on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, it's Micah. Hey, I just had a question for you. I agree with a lot of what you say. It's kind of hit or miss on some topics, but I agree with women being the way they are and pretty much desiring what they want, that they can be some cruel individuals and human beings. And I'm a Marine, and I've seen some really bad stuff on deployments. Young Marines getting married, thinking they're in love, coming home to an empty house and an empty bank account. And it can be terrible, but if every single person in the world was like Tom Leykis, how would the human species continue?
Well, you see, every single person will not be like Tom Leykis because the world is full of dumb and poor people who are breeding machines and who will continue cranking out millions and millions of progeny.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about the world being like Tom Leykis. It never will.
No, I suppose I see what you're saying, but you do have a lot of listeners and a lot of people, and
I don't have that many listeners.
Oh, Tom, come on, don't kid yourself. I think Tom Leykis is a pretty well-known name in Southern California.
All right, but the point is you're talking about the world, and the bottom line here is that in the world there are plenty of poor and stupid people who are more than happy to pick up the slack from people like me.
So then we're just doomed to have nothing but poor, stupid people reproducing in the whole entire poor.
Well, look around. That's mostly who is reproducing.
Well, I suppose. I think there are few and far. Well, there are exceptions to every rule, I would say. So I wouldn't be 100% anti-marriage and anti-family because we are going to need some smart people if we're going to continue living, I suppose.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that being smart doesn't guarantee smart kids. In many cases, intelligence skips a generation.
Right. No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm married. I just had my first child, and I hope to influence him in a way which makes him a better, more productive member.
Well, I know you hope to do that, but MTV and MySpace is going to influence him a lot more than you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's a very good point. I guess I just got to do my best and try and remain a little bit more optimistic. But
well, you can remain optimistic all you like. I'm optimistic that the Easter Bunny is going to leave me some brightly colored eggs.
Well, whatever you're doing seems to be working for you. And I guess if I was disgustingly rich and could get ridiculously hot ass all day long, I probably would too.
Yes, remember what I say. A man is only as faithful as his options.
Well, no, I hate to say it, but I'm not faithful.
There we go.
There's instances where, whatever, neither here nor there. But I don't think as a whole.
So you're married, you have a child, and you're not faithful.
At times, no.
And you got married, why?
The same reason everyone does it, Tom.
Because you were being deployed to Iraq or Afghanistan and you needed somebody to sit home here and wait for you?
Well, I did it after my first deployment. I've been over there 4 times. I guess I was in a hurry to live my life, and I wanted to leave something behind where if I were to perish, then I could at least say I did something and made a mark on the world.
But 30 seconds of ejaculate is not necessarily the only way to leave a mark on the world.
Well,
you can write a book. You can climb a mountain. You could discover the cure for AIDS. There's many ways to leave a mark on the world.
Well, I guess I felt like I was pressed for time.
Mrs. Hitler thought when she had little Adolf, she said, you know what? He could change the world.
He did. Not in the best way. But...
Mrs. Mussolini also was very proud of her son. So was Mrs. Stalin, Mrs. Hussein.
I see what you're saying. I guess you have a valid point, but I still think there's hope.
I understand. Do you believe in Peter Pan also?
No, I do not. I'm a very pragmatic person. I'm a very pragmatic person.
You just said you have a lot of hope.
Just because I have hope doesn't mean I'm not exactly pragmatic. You can give a homeless man money on the side of the street and hope that he goes and buys himself a meal, but in all reality, he's just going to turn it in for booze. But there's no reason to give up hope. So you keep giving them money? I wouldn't give him money, no. Why not? Don't you have hope? I have hope, but I hope he gets a job. Sounds awfully cynical to me. I'm just a pragmatic person, Tom, I guess. I don't know. All right, Micah, thank you for that. It's Liz on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
I'm great, Liz.
I'm so glad to hear that because I do care. All right. First of all, obviously, probably long-time listener, first-time caller, want to go back to Mike, the floor guy, for a second?
Uh-huh.
All right. First of all, let me say I'm everything you wouldn't want. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm blonde. I'm 44, and I'm, like, overeducated. So I already know, and I'm a huge fan of yours, that I would never be anybody that you would like, right?
Oh, well, you might be a perfectly nice person.
It's an assumption. You like small, beautiful, brown girls, and I'm, like, just absolutely not that.
No,
but I'm at a hockey game. Yeah. I'm at the Wild. I'm in the valet parking. I'm coming around, and all of a sudden, I look up, and I see one of my favorite people, you, standing waiting for your car with... And it's like the hyper VIP, so your viewers know, with probably the most gorgeous, beautiful Latina girl on your arm. I yelled out my window, "You are a genius!" Because
I remember that.
Yeah, that was me.
I remember.
That's me. And the thing is, I grew up in the '60s. Women's lib, everybody equal pay, la 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 la. But the bottom line is, everything you say about men and women, I think, is largely true. I agree with you. And it's not, and when you take character off the table and quit saying that, when people feel so attacked by what you just sort of put out there as data, it's experience. You're a guy who didn't start out looking absolutely gorgeous and didn't start out with a lot of money, and you ended up accumulating power and money along the way. And you know what? Women do like to be around it. It feels good. It's fun. It doesn't mean that they're whores. It doesn't mean that they're awful. It doesn't mean that everybody that likes you for all the wrong reasons. But when people negate the fact, when a good-looking guy who lays floors for $40,000 a year can't get his head around the fact that women love you, it's because, he doesn't have those things in his wheelhouse.
Well, the other thing is, I'm in public, as you see. I'm in public all the time. People can see. They don't have to take my word for it.
No, and I'm not like some guy who's calling up saying, "Hey, Dad," and then trying to back you up with what you're saying. I'm here to say to Mike, I'm somebody that maybe Mike would think is beautiful if I were 34 instead of 44.
Uh-huh.
I've done very well for myself. But what you say about yourself and about your game is absolutely the truth. And I just wanted to call and back you up. I mean, you and I would be very unlikely people to know each other, but my friend, you have not lied once.
Thank you, Liz.
And that's all I want to say. Happy New Year, Tom.
And the same to you. I appreciate the call. Our email address is my name. It's Tom at blowmeuptom.com. You got that? Tom at blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Got that? Tom at blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.